All right, Jim, thank you. As wildfires continue to burn in the Texas Panhandle and part of Oklahoma, there is a chance it could get worse with gusty winds and low humidity. Crews are preparing for extreme critical fire weather conditions, which at one point were expected to be widespread in that area. And that's why the Texas A&M Forest Service is urging Texans to have an evacuation plan that can be used during a wildfire or another natural disaster. Carrie Hines from the Texas A&M Forest Service is joining us today. I know that you're busy, you're out on the road, so thank you so much for taking time with us and being with us today.
Thanks so much.
So first of all, are the conditions today presenting any additional challenges for crews who are in the Panhandle?
The weather that they're experiencing right now in the Panhandle is fairly typical for our winter fire seasons. We have higher than normal temperatures, we have dry grasses that are present, and of course these high winds. Anytime that happens, it does combine to increase our fire danger, and that's why we're encouraging people to continue to put their outdoor and be prepared for wildfire.
And speaking of the preparation, you're really encouraging Texans to have an evacuation plan. What's the best way for families to start working on that plan and creating it?
There are so many online resources when it comes to creating a personalized evacuation plan, an emergency preparedness plan, really, for the situation that your family is in, whether you have members of your family who are mobility limited, or you have pets, maybe you have livestock. You might live in a very dense community, or you might live out in the middle of a large open area. Making sure that you have the resources that you need, that you know how your emergency officials are going to communicate with you, whether that is through an opt-in text service that you have to sign up for, or whether they're active on social media, and knowing what your family needs to do in case of an emergency.
Okay, and I know that one key point that you all made in your release was talking about having a Gokit and also an evacuation route. So how can families really identify those type of routes in their area?
So I think a lot of us have those routes that we get out of our neighborhood on a regular basis. Sometimes those can be closed down in case of a wildfire. So it is good to know, if there is one available, a secondary way in and out of your neighborhood that maybe you're not used to taking. When it gets to be very, very smoky outside and it's quite chaotic, it can be hard to then be trying to find those secondary emergency routes. Sometimes you live in a county, Travis County, for example, where the Office of Emergency Management has designated routes that they want neighborhoods to take to avoid pileups or traffic jams in certain areas. So getting with your Office of Emergency Management and seeing what the plan is for your neighborhood.
And then, Carrie, lastly, what should people put in their Gokits to be prepared in case there is a fire or a natural disaster?
There is, you'll find them online, the 5 Ps. Sometimes they'll be called the 7 Ps. It's your important papers, your priceless items, your prescriptions, um, items for your pets, and I'm forgetting the 5th one, which is extremely embarrassing. But the 5 Ps, and making sure you have those irreplaceable items.
Okay, and we'll find all the 5 Ps and we'll put them in this story on our website at kxan.com. Carrie, thank you so much for taking time out and being with us this afternoon.
Thanks so much for having me.
Coming up now to the